Okay. So, as per the syllabus, we are starting the second unit, and the topic is software verification and validation that we discuss today. Okay, so you already know what is verification and validation in the software testing, but still there is some confusion is there. What is software verification and validation? Okay, verification in the software testing and validation in the software testing. So we'll discuss with an example. So the main difference, so verification means it is a process of checking the document. Okay, as we verify the any documents, design, code, and program in a order to check if the software has been built according to the requirement or not. So we are checking the document or the design or the code and the program in the order to check whether the software has been built as per the requirement or not. So that is a verification in the software testing. So here there are some process are there. How we go for the verification process? The activities like review or walkthrough. Walkthrough means just you going through the particular document or design. Then inspection. Okay, the inspecting the particular document or the pages or the design. Okay, so that is the verification process. Then what is validation? Okay, verification means in your mind it should come review, walkthrough, or inspecting the particular document and all. Validation in the software engineering. So that is a dynamic mechanism of testing and validating if the software product actually meets the needs of the customer or not. Okay, जो कस्टमर को क्या चाहिए वो है कि नहीं. Validating. You are validating the software as per the customer needs or requirements. So the validation it involves the activities like unit testing, integration testing, system testing, user acceptance testing. These are the activities involved in the validation of the software. Verification it includes review, walkthrough, inspection. These are some of the activities that are included in the verification of the software testing. In validation, it includes unit testing, integration testing, system testing, the types of testing that we use for the validating our product, whether the product whether it is satisfying the customer requirements or not. So here we can say even the verification as we are developing the right product or not. We are developing the right product or not. So that is the definition of the verification. Okay, the developed application it fulfilling all the requirements given by the client. Means वो satisfy होता है कि नहीं? It is a static testing. This is the verification is a static testing and validation is a dynamic testing. And here we go for the like the code walkthrough, code checking, design checking, document checking, and all that we do in the verification. Okay, we are developing the right product or not. So that is a verification technique. Okay, so here we go for the checking of like these the requirements, the design. Okay, high level design, low level design, then the coding and requirements, business requirements, customer requirements, or software requirement specification. Means we go through all these documents. Okay, in verification we go through the documents. Okay, and we go through the code, we go through the design documents. Okay, that is cross check, walkthrough, or verification techniques. Okay, these are all verification techniques. We are developing the right product or not, that is verifying. Okay, so that is a verification testing. In the same way, validation testing means we have developed the product right. We need to ensure that we have developed the product right. यहाँ verification में क्या होता है? We are developing the right product or not? Verifying. We are developing the right product or not, as we are verifying the design document, code, and all. Okay, design documents and all we are verifying. In the same way, validation means we are validating with respect to the different testing techniques. ये testing techniques हम use करके we are validating we have developed the product right or not. We have developed the product right that satisfy the customer needs. एक फाइनल प्रोडक्ट जो रहता है the software, whether that meets the business needs of the or the client requirements. For example, for the CoWIN application, okay, for to register for the vaccine registration, the CoWIN site, okay, whether we have developed the particular product right or not, okay, whether it satisfies the customer requirement or not. Okay, with just by clicking one button we can register for the vaccine. So we are validating whether all the buttons are working properly or not. Okay, we for that we go for these testings: unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and even non-functional like performance testing. Okay, scalability testing and all that we go for. So in validation we go for these testing methods: white box testing, the functional unit testing, integration testing, system testing, user acceptance testing. These are the different testing methods we use for the validation of software product. Validation of software product. We have developed the right product. We have to verify. Okay. और वेरिफिकेशन में क्या होता है? वेरिफिकेशन में वी आर चेकिंग, हम चेक कर रहे हैं कि ये सारे डॉक्यूमेंट करेक्ट है कि नहीं, द रिक्वायरमेंट स्पेसिफाइड जो भी स्पेसिफिकेशन वगैरह करेक्ट है कि नहीं, कोड चेक कर रहे हैं, डिजाइन चेक कर रहे हैं. ओके, दैट इज जस्ट वेरीफाई और चेकिंग. ओके, और इंस्पेक्टिंग. ओके, वेरीफाई कोड चेक करना अलग बात है, एंड बाय अप्लाइंग द मेथड्स, applying the white box testing, this unit testing, integrating the modules testing. Okay, this validation is different. So verification process that include the difference. Okay, we are seeing the difference between the verification and validation. Verification, it includes checking the documents, design, code, and program, whereas validation includes the testing and validation of the actual product. Okay, validation of the actual product, whether all the buttons are working properly or not, whether the submit button is working properly or not. Validating the final product. Or verification means checking the documents that are involved, design documents, code, programs, and all. So verification does not involve the code execution, while the validation involves the code execution. Okay, verification it does not involve. Okay, just we are verifying the documents and all. उसमें कोड चेक वगैरह नहीं होता. कोड चेक वगैरह वैलिडेशन में होता है. So verification involves like reviews, walkthrough, inspection. These are some methods. Review, walk through the particular document, inspecting, okay, and checking. So whereas in validation, the testing techniques, black box, white box, unit testing, non-functional testing, and all. Okay, that you should know because sometimes in the interview they ask what is the difference between verification and validation. So we give the same answer for both verification and validation. So validation means we are verifying, checking the documents, code, program. Validation means we are testing the product, whether it meets the customer requirement or not, with a various software testing technique. So verification checks whether the software confirms the specification, whereas validation checks the it meets the requirement and its expectations. Okay. So there are some differences are there. The same the differences that here it is put in a table form. Okay, as you know this it is a static verification is a static and validation is a dynamic mechanism. Okay, here we test the document design code. Then it does not involve the code check, but validation in that we go for the code checking and all by applying the various methods. Okay, here review, here we use testing methods. Then whether the software confirms the specification is checked, whether the software meets the requirements and expectation from the customer, what the customer expects. It finds bugs early in the development. Yes, verification because we are started in the early stage. Verification and validation method. Okay, first we go for the verification. So verification it finds the bugs early. It can find the bugs that the verification process cannot catch. Okay, if some of the like the verification of design document or requirements or checking the code, if there are some of the error if it is not detected, some of the error is not detected, so that can be catched by the validation method. Okay, so target is application and the software architecture, design specification. Okay, here the target is actual product. Validation में क्या होता है? We are working on the final product. Okay, in the validation we are working on the final product, and here the different levels like design, requirement, database design, and all. Quality assurance team in verification. Quality assurance team does the verification and make sure that software is as per the requirement in the SRS. Here the involvement, the testing team validation by execution of the software code. So it comes before validation, it comes after the verification. So there is a simple example. For example, here a clickable button in software engineering. Consider the following specification for verification testing and validation testing. A clickable button with the name submit. Okay, a clickable button. Okay, a clickable button with submit. So verification would check the design docs, correct the spelling mistakes. Okay, यहाँ actually क्या होना चाहिए? Submit होना चाहिए. Okay, so that we verify. The example of verification means we will verify whether this is correct or not. Okay, this is supposed to be submit. Okay, submit of the submit. Okay, is submit रहना चाहिए. So we are checking. Okay, verification would check the design documents and correcting the spelling mistakes. So here we will correct the verifying. We are verifying that. So it should be submit. It should be submit. Okay. Okay, yeah, it is very clear example. Okay, यहाँ कैसा है submit mistake. We are finding that it is a mistake, spelling mistake is there. That is verification. And a clickable button with the name submit. Clickable button with the name submit. Okay, once the code is ready, validation is done. Okay, so how we do the validation? By clicking on this button. We click on the button and we are checking whether this button is working properly or not. Validation. Okay, we click on this button. ये बटन पे क्लिक होने के बाद यहाँ हम क्लिक नहीं कर रहे किस पे बटन पे वी आर वेरीफाइंग द कोड वी आर वेरीफाइंग वेदर यहाँ स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक वगैरह कुछ है क्या बट वैलिडेशन में हमको क्या करना पड़ेगा यहाँ क्लिक करना पड़ेगा ओके सो दैट इज द डिफरेंस वेरिफिकेशन एंड validation. So in your interview, if they ask what is the verification and validation technique, then you should be able to explain with the example. Okay. And this particular verification and validation technique, it follows a V model of testing. V model of testing. And also V model of testing and also uh, in each phase, for example, let's suppose in the waterfall only if we consider, like these are some different phases. Okay, so these are the like a requirement, design, coding, and testing or deployment. Okay, so here at the end of each phase, we apply a verification and validation method at the end of each phase to improve the quality, verification and validation. Because if we go for the testing in the early phases, okay, if we go for the testing in the early phase, that reduces the cost, and the save the time. Okay, reduce the cost and save the time. Okay, because of the finding and fixing the defects at the later stages, finding and fixing the defects at the later stage, it increases the cost. And increases the cost means even to fix those defects and all, it takes the time. And the means it takes a time. If it is taking more time means the budget also increases. So so that creates a problem and all. Okay, so verification and validation technique, it is very means for any software product, we should adopt this verification and validation techniques to reduce the cost and also to deliver the project on time. Okay, and that too in the early phases is very important. Okay, because in the interview and all, if you get such type of questions, you need to handle such type of questions. Okay. Okay, so this is about the verification and validation, and in the next class we go for the black box testing and white box testing methods. Okay, so black box testing and all, I think you people know what is the black box testing and all. Okay, so this is a black box testing. Okay, so black box testing, and here we apply the input. Okay, for example, 2 plus 2, this is our input, and we are verifying what is the output. Okay, output is 4. So here we are not checking the internal details here. Okay, the what is the process and all. Okay, we are not testing the we are not testing here. There is some code is written. Okay, the code is written like to perform the addition of two numbers. Okay, addition of two numbers. We are not. Okay, here a plus b. Suppose here there is a function that performing the addition of two numbers. We are not bothering. We are not checking the inner details of this particular black box. Okay, we are just providing the input and we are testing the output. Means our expected क्या होना चाहिए? Expected is 4 for this particular input, and actual also. Suppose if the actual we are checking, actual, suppose if you are getting the 4, okay, this black box testing means this is a, we are not bothering, we are not checking the logic and all. We are not checking any logic. Okay, we are just comparing with respect to the input. With respect to this input, actual output and expected output. If both are matching, then test case is pass. So in this way, we are testing the particular any software application. Okay. For example, this applicable with even on the login function also. Login function also, by providing the username and password, the login is successful or login is failure. So likewise, we are testing. Okay. So in this way, we test the software application that we discuss in the next class. We will discuss. There are some testing methods are there, and it is also very important for the examination point of view and for your projects also, the black box testing, white box testing and all. Okay, so I'll stop here, and I think Kathod sir, I think maybe Kathod sir will not take at 9 a.m. Okay.